Did you know that when drinking water was first invented, it tasted like shit and made people ill or killed them? Early humans drank from rivers and springs, and if it looked clear and didn't kill the last guy, it was safe to drink. Back then, people didn't know much about germs, but they learned that boiling the water didn't make them sick or kill them, unless they drank it straight away without letting it cool down a bit. The Greeks and the Romans built aqueducts, and they also invented duct tape to repair the ducts. That's where the name duct tape comes from, because they used duct tape to seal up the ducts when the ducts were leaking. The Romans really had it sorted when it came to drinking water. They knew their stuff. They had public fountains with free drinking water for everyone, and public baths where people used to have orgies. But after Rome burned, while Nero played the violin, things went to shit as far as drinking water was concerned. The water got dirtier and disease was spreading all over the place because people couldn't find safe drinking water. But nobody could work out why it was so bad, because it didn't smell of anything bad. In fact, it didn't smell of anything at all. During the 1800s, they even immersed themselves in big tanks of water to try to smell it from inside. But humans can't smell underwater. They learned that very quickly, after Professor Schmidt died trying. And that is when beer, ale and wine became the safest thing to drink, because the fermentation process kills all the bacteria. Anyway, back then, the factory workers would drink beer all day because it was safer than water. So the factory owners introduced tea breaks to keep the workers sober during their 23.5-hour shifts. And they actively encouraged them to drink tea rather than beer while they were at work, because it kept them alert, sober and a lot more productive than when they were drunk. In fact, that's how tea became popular and how the tea break was invented. In the end, the government worked out that too many poor people were dying of cholera because of contaminated water. They didn't really care that the poor people were dying, but it meant that they were collecting less taxes. And the fat factory owners were losing money because good workers were dying on the factory floor. So the governments introduced filtration systems, chemicals, and adjusted the pH balance of the water to make it safe for everyone to eat. Anyway, what's mad to think though is that all the water in the world is recycled. It goes from toilet to tap. So the water in your cup of tea could be the same water that filled the Roman bath. So we are drinking water that someone has probably had an orgy in and ejaculated into it.